Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Mark Miller, and this is my weekly update sharing insights and advice about public relations and communications. As always, if you have questions or would like to learn more about my services, you can find me at markmillerpr.com. So in my last video update, I talked about what to do when you have bad news, when something unexpected or kind of unfortunate happens with your organization, and how to approach that. This week, let's talk about the opposite. I want to talk about good news. So when you have good news to share, how are you sharing it? How do you get the message out there? And why are you doing it? So let's talk about that real quick. Number one, we've talked previously about keeping it relevant. You've got good news to share, and you should absolutely share it. But bear in mind, what's good news to you and why it's good news might not be the same as why it's good news for your audience. So remember what's relevant to your audience, who's following, who's listening, and why is it good news to them? Keep that in mind when you're sharing. A lot of my clients, they have so much information, so much data, so many details. A lot of times, your audience might not be interested in all of those details, and they might just be more interested in, hey, that's a big win for your organization, and the bottom line as to why, and that's it. Brief, brilliant, gone. So remember to keep it relevant. Also, use all the appropriate methods of getting your message out there. You've got good news to share, make sure it gets out there. Don't just post it on one social media platform and say, there we go, I got the good news out there. Or send out a press release and, hey, it's done, call it a day. Use all the methods that you have at your disposal for sharing your good news with others. That means all of your social media platforms, press releases to the appropriate media outlets, and last but not least, don't forget, we've done videos on here about press conferences before too. So you can reference all that video material back whatever platform you're watching this on, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Keep in mind that you need to blast that message as far and wide as you can to all your audiences while keeping it relevant. Last but not least, I sound like a broken record. You hear this from me all the time, but don't forget your communications goals. You can reference my early video on communications goals if you need to, but remember that you have clear-cut communications goals that you've set ahead of time, and you've established how those are helping your organizational goals. So when you've got good news to share, absolutely share it, as I just spoke about, but do it in a way that lends directly toward your communications goals and your overall organizational goals. That's it for today, plain and simple. Remember, be accessible as well. If the same as I said when you share that bad news, the media might want to get a hold of you when you share the good news. Make sure to make it clear and concise how accessible you are. Thanks for watching again today. As always, if you have questions or need to know more about my services, you know where to find me at markmillerpr.com. Have a great day, everyone.